So next we have the Queen of Wands. Now she is about taking action. She knows what she wants and she goes for it. And I feel like that's the vibe we're coming from, is ready, getting yourself into this position and moving on to it. She's about kind of like, to me, getting creative. And I feel like this is the kind of like mood you're going to come into. You're going to be all rested and recuperated and you're going to get in that mindset. And I feel like this is where you're ready to get creative, to be able to reach your goals. And I feel like actually some of you may have some creative goals this year, or even projects that you're going to work on. I feel like this is going to take a lot of imagination. To me, I'm being drawn to, so I'll show you the card because it's actually great imagery. So if it will let me. The lighting is terrible. So I have to record at night time sometimes when my kids are in bed. And so it means, yeah, the lighting is off. I'm sorry. Okay, so the imagery, I have this beautiful witchy queen right here, and she has a dragon behind her, and the smoke is above her head, and that's what I'm drawn to. So the smoke here to me is creative thinking, and thinking outside the boat, dreamy, allowing ourselves to dream and reach for that. And I feel like that's where your goals and inspiration should come from this year, is getting creative from your own. It's like manifesting something and creating something for yourself. I really get this sense of like a passionate energy of you actually creating something from scratch, an idea, and being able to manifest it. And she's owning it. She's holding her wand. She has this bouquet of flowers, and that's her abundance. She has created this and manifested that abundance for herself. And I feel this great pride. So that's something really amazing that I feel is coming for you, and that feels future stance. I really feel like this resting is now, and then this is your future. And it's kind of crazy because this layout, we have the future cards at this far end, but to me that feels like a future. That's where you're getting, is this manifesting. So use your downtime to get thinking, what is it that you can do, what is it that you want to create, and really kind of get your ducks in a row before you take action. Now I do feel like here we have the Nine of Swords. So to me this is her, with this card I always get this vibe of overthinking. So there could be some overthinking. So again, the Queen of Swords is a take action. She's get creative, but it's also an action card. Like she is kind of kicking into action to get her goals. So don't allow yourself to sit in this energy. I do get a sense of overthinking and procrastinating, and that to me as well actually really fits with that beginning energy that you're in as well. Don't stay in there. So don't stay stagnant. That will only hold you back, and just make the goal a little bit longer to reach. Which, I mean, we don't. There's no harm in that, but that's not kind of what we want for ourselves, is it? And that's what I get for you, Sagittarius. I get the sense that, like, overwhelmingness as well. With this, I kind of feel like don't overthink and don't overdo it. So the getting creative spark for me with the Queen of Wands was that it kind of felt like easy. Kind of felt easy. Like, yes, she's working towards it, but it was an easy route. That she was just able to manifest it, and by being creative and creating something herself. So I feel like with this actual Nine of Swords, it's overthinking and actually trying to go, like, for example, going down an analytical route and overthinking and starting to think, oh, I need to read upon this and I need to know that, and trying to make things be perfect, and then you get overwhelmed. And that's what I'm feeling here for you, is that it is overwhelming. So I'm very booby today. I don't want to flash you. It's giving me this overwhelming sense of, like, you're trying to just don't overthink things, don't overdo things, and don't but overdo it. Just over is coming to me. And when I get that repetitive, it's like it's too much. Don't do that to yourselves. And that can get you into a sticky situation. Definitely, we've got Nine of Wands again here, and to me, it's trying to combat. It's like trying to combat too many things as well. And yes, you are successful, but it is a struggle. You're making it harder on yourself. Do be wary of that overthinking or tackling too many things at once. Again, too many ideas as well. Try and keep things simple. 998. Okay, so interestingly, so the idea here is to step back. I feel like you're not seeing what's right in front of you. You kind of got your back to it. Because we go from Nine of Swords to the Nine of Wands, and I was just noticing that then we go to Eight of Cups, and I feel like this is you not noticing what's behind you. It's realizing that the solution is in front of you. So wherever you can apply this kind of guidance, the solution is right in front of you, and I feel like it is simple. Like I keep getting this kind of really fluid. It's easy enough once you kind of get past that overthinking, that over tackling too many things and juggling too many things. I feel like that's not necessary. What you have is right in front of you, and it's very simple. And like again, I feel like one idea, this Eight of Cups and the Seven Cups that are behind her. No, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the 8 cups that are behind her, is like one of them has the smoke coming through, and this to me is your idea. This is the cup that you want. This is the emotion to follow. It's inspiring, and I feel like that once you have that, that is where it leads you to your abundance, to that creative spark, and that's the way to go. And I feel like the focus here for yourself is like you're overwhelmed and you're not seeing what's right in front of you. I will actually pull some cards on this. Let's go with, okay, the energy you're in at the moment. Trust your intuition, admit yourself and act accordingly. I definitely feel like there's things here that you need to give yourself a little bit push. Believe and trust in yourself. Believe and trust. To me, this card is all about intuition. It's trusting our gut instincts and allowing ourselves to have faith, to go with the flow and trust in the universe. That to me is what you are doing right now. That's the energy that you're in, that recovering. And then we have admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. So this card typically comes up when we are probably like we're ignoring something and we're allowing ourselves to just avoid it. It's kind of avoidance to me. So don't be doing that. And I feel like this is where we're pushing ourselves into the Queen energy and not overthinking. Because avoiding and avoidance and overthinking, they kind of come together. Even though avoidance can be like an escapism where we push everything to the side and we are avoiding it, but also we tend to overthink in the same moment, or at least I know I do. You overthink and you're avoiding because you're not wanting to face, and I feel like that's what that energy to move forward into the action card is what you need to be doing. With the Queen of Wands, we have you created this situation, you have the power to change it, so again you need to take action. You need to be the one to put that into place. Yeah, the situation is already resolved. All this overwhelmingness, there's not a reason for it. I feel like it is just self-imposed, and this is something that you need to kind of delegate. Your mind space is what feels right for me for you, so I hope that makes sense for you. Be gentle with yourself, and again, this is the overwhelming feeling I'm feeling. The be gentle with yourself is like, know that you're doing the best you can, and there's no need to criticize and realize, like sometimes when we realize that we've been a certain way, we can beat ourselves up still, like we still continue to downward spiral because you're just allowing yourself to you've been like, oh, I'm so stupid, why do I do that? And then you just keep yourself there. And I feel like this is admitting that, you're doing the best you can. Yes, you messed up, so what? Let's move forward. So I hope that makes sense for you. This Eight of Cups, keep your eyes on the targeted intention, and that's exactly it. I feel like there's something in sight, and if you tunnel vision to that, if you allow yourself to focus on one thing, that is what will help you move forward. And I feel like this feels very much kind of like a personal target for you, like a project, something creating and blooming in you. And that has been a vibe as well throughout my readings I've done so far. It's something bubbling below the surface. And I feel like that's it for you. There's something that you can really achieve this year, and this is you working towards that. So just keep your eyes on your intended target, be kind to yourself, try not to go overdo it and get overwhelmed with too many things, and change, create action, go for what you want. Okay, so again, this is working towards, I feel like you need to put the work in. This is not just going to come easy. You need to put the work in to get where you want. Interesting. So this could be in regards to relationship and love as well for some of you. The next card, I kind of get a heartbreak feel with it, and it feels like that perhaps you may have had expectations, and that's holding you down because somebody didn't meet that. I feel like this is where you need to put the work in. You need to know what you want, and this is what I mean by it being easy. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed because we think that what we want is too much. We especially if you go through a heartbreak and you whatever happened during that, we hold on to that kind of karma a little bit that comes with that relationship, and we start thinking about what we did wrong or what the person had that we didn't want, and we start making lists. And I feel like that's not a healthy way to be in. Like, yes, it's healthy to go into a new relationship knowing what you want and what you don't want. 100% agree with that, and it's good to get that out on the table when you first meet with someone. However, you can't have expectations upon a new person either. Like, you can tell somebody, this is what I want, I don't want this, and if that's not them, then they can choose to walk away, or they can tell you, but I am like that, and then you make that decision on whether you want that. But you can't go in and say, this is what I want, so you need to be that for me, because that is, again, you are creating a toxic relationship, and it's not going to work. You cannot create something in somebody else. You can be open and honest, they can do the same back, or they can't, and this is how we have just more grown up relationships in future that get us to that better space in ourselves, really, within a relationship. And it gets them red flags to the surface really quickly as well. You know what I mean? If someone reacts to something that you put forward in the beginning that you want, then they don't want that, then you know that you need to leave, or you decide to live with it. And I feel like that's when it comes down to, you know, whether you listen to red flags or not, and whether you're ready to make those same mistakes again. And that's what I feel like with this is like, kind of don't let this heartache hold you back, and know that there is work for you to put into relationships if you want to benefit out of it. And that really does feel really relationship wise for me for that guidance. But for those of you who are not in a relationship or not going through this, obviously this may trigger something in the future. Sometimes I feel like we listen to readings and then about 3 months down the line we say, oh, in January I remember that something about love, who was that? And it triggers that memory, and that's your guidance to come through. It's triggering you through that way. So it may not be now, it may be future. But I also feel like this could be applied in other areas of your life as well. Is sometimes we have with heartache, it's not always love. It can literally be us breaking our own hearts in another way as well, and that's what's holding us back. And we need to put the work in with ourselves. We need to put the work in with our career. We need to put the work in what we want. This can be applied to, so please apply it where you need to as well. But I do feel that relationship vibe there for that one. Five of Wands. So this is really social, and this is a change. So with that guidance above, I feel like this is bringing forward, because I feel like they flow downwards anyway when you're reading. So I feel like it's one step forward, 2 steps back for you a little bit during this reading. I feel like that's how the theme is for you, and don't allow that. You're doing the best you can, so don't allow that to keep you back. But I feel like this is part of your journey this year, of you doing that. It's kind of like a to and fro of your self-discovery within these moments. But the Five of Wands is a great card. It's a shift and a change. And I feel like this is actually really sociable. So again, if you are looking to meet somebody, I feel like this is a good card, and it could indicate like dates. It could indicate you social networking. It could indicate you, you know, online dating, whatever your method of dating is. I feel like this is going to be a really great time for you. And again, with the cauldron, the bubbling beneath the surface, I feel like something's coming for you, and this is something for you to work on and for you to play with and have fun with, and be creative. And I feel like, again, if this is relationship, if all along from the beginning this is your goal for this year, is to create connections, be it friendship, love, or something, this could be a really good indication that you're going to be able to get creative with that. Think outside the box. Find new ways of socializing, find new ways of meeting people, you know, go on a blind date that you've been offered to go on. I feel like this is what the vibe is with this, is you getting creative, and it feels really exciting. Like, you might meet a few strays here and there, and it might not be your people, but you don't know until you meet someone. And actually that was kind of in the guidance above as well, a similar vibe, was that don't let experiences with some people affect your experience with someone new, because nobody is the same. Nobody is that same person. And yes, someone might have a similar flaw, but one person who's really stubborn For example, you have two people that are really stubborn. One person is really stubborn, but they know when to back down. They'll stand their ground when they're right because they know that they're right and they have good morals. Another person is stubborn. They don't know when they're right or they're wrong, and they will not be changed. Like, that's the one you don't want. But just because somebody else is stubborn doesn't mean it's going to be a negative. And that's what you need to see in new people when we're making new connections, is that sometimes, yes, we all have similar flaws, but how we deal and how we cope and life experiences and all our charts, we're all different. We are all uniquely crafted from the stars. You know what I mean? Like, we come in different shapes and sizes, and that is with every single person. You cannot paint everybody with the same brush. You can't date a Sagittarius and say Sagittarius and Sagittarius don't go together because I dated one and we were blah blah. I mean, technically, I think actually Sagittariuses probably will be good together. They will get each other. But you know what I'm saying here. It's like people brand people by their star sign, but they don't take into consideration that they have many different signs within themselves. So one Leo is not a Leo. It's just some people do portray typical Leo signs and they're very annoying with that. Sorry guys, I'm not really branding Leos. Leos are really lovely people. Anyways, so future position for you. You have 3 cards jump through. The guidance in the future is, I feel like there's hesitation, so not to jump into anything. I don't feel like there is any rush. And that to me is, you have the Fool card in reverse. And to me, this is about being apprehensive and taking your time, and that is okay to be in that vibe. I feel like that will probably do you good, is to be apprehensive, keep your wits about you, but allow yourself to move forward. The Fool card is all about moving forward. Obviously, upright, it would be jump in, allow yourself to explore, be a child. I feel like keep your wits about you. Things you've learned up until this point, especially, this seems to be very much a relationship reading for you Sagittarius, for a lot of you. So for those of you watching that this can apply to, with this, I feel like there's all this experience you've learned from your relationship so far that's gonna serve you well. So keep hold of that. Don't just jump right in. Keep your wits about you, but move forward. Take the steps in. Take those steps forwards and begin your Fool's journey. And also with that, we have, let me have a look. So we have 6 of Pentacles, but I'm actually drawn to this is why I'm turning it back around to see this. So I feel like, yeah, you're gonna meet a few people, and it's gonna bring forward some options for you. This could be the overwhelmingness, actually, because I feel like this could be, and it can be projects, it can be people, but I'm sticking with the relationship vibe that I'm feeling here to give you that guidance. And I feel like there could be options here where you actually are just unsure who's better for you or which friend to side with. If the situation arises, and as I say that, if something arises, it could be to side with. I feel like listen and trust in yourself. Understand you're doing the best you can. Is realize that the situation is already resolved. Like, I feel like keeping that in mind, that you know what's best for you when making decisions, because I feel like there could be a decision here for you, but it brings forward abundance. I feel like there's a happiness here with that, because I'm feeling a connection of like the outcome will be good. Again, judgment, don't be overly judgy with yourself, and I feel like don't listen to other people. With this, again, I get this sense of a conflict, and it's not a conflict, so don't get all like what with me Sagittarius, but I feel like here with like a decision and options, that it could be that there's a conflict within you or a conflict on the outside. Like, it could even be people fighting for you. There's many different scenarios kind of coming at me of possibilities of what this could mean, so that's kind of exciting for me as well, because this could be a recurring thing for you the year, as I felt like a back and forward with you and lessons being learned. This could be a numerous things in different shapes and forms coming forward for you. So for example, it could be more than one person you like, and then you could choose, and then that one person throws up another challenge for you to realize, like, oh, hang on, he's moving away. Do I want to move away with him? Do I want to be with her because she's already with somebody else? You know, like different little challenges. And I'm not saying those things will come up. I'm trying to give you just scenarios for you to think on that maybe apply to for you, where you might feel like you're taking on the opinions of others listen to yourself and trust only you, and don't let those actions of other people kind of hinder you, because that's a theme with this previous line as well. I feel like you may be held back by other people's opinions, and that kind of really solid for me for you. I just want to pick 3 cards here for you, just to confirm, 4 cards apparently, just to confirm those feels for me. Explore your options. There's definitely going to be options for you. Romance angels, definitely relationship vibes for me, for you. Ask Archangel Michael to lean on others and allow yourself to. So with this, actually, I feel like yes, go to people for advice. Lean on others if you need to. Speak it out, but trust in yourself. Pay attention to your dreams. So trust your intuition. I feel like yes, have those girly chats with your friends. Go have a beer with a mate. Whatever is your outlet, do it, but also trust in your instincts, not in somebody else's. And I feel like that could be because your opinion and your decision might not align with that of the guidance somebody gives you. That doesn't matter. This is your life, not their life. So focus on that. So I hope that makes sense for you, Sagittarius. I'm just playing my cards. Right, so I'm also going to pick a card I think I mentioned to you in the beginning, but I do many of these, so I don't know what I said. I forget what I say after I say it, so I'm sorry about that. Basically, I'm going to pull a card for you. This represents what your New Year's resolution should be. What should you be letting go of? What should you be doing? Basically, it's from a past life, and yours is literally just shouting at me as I do it. Wow, I love this card. Okay, so yeah, basically this card comes up. It's a past life that you would have lived, may have lived. It's karma that you may be carrying with you from this experience. You bring it into this life. Sometimes it's a positive thing, like you brought something that gives you this knowledge and wisdom. Sometimes it is something negative you brought with you that you need to work on in this life to let go of. So keep that in mind as I read this. So you have Atlantis. So explore that, do your research. I don't have a lot of time to talk about this, but I love Atlantis, Lemuria, like all that kind of thing draws me in personally. So Atlantis is the time of Atlanteans. I will briefly do this because I don't want to go into this because I could talk to you for days about topics like this, but basically with this card it says that you bring with you an energy of injustice at a time of where the government was corrupt, where you knew things being all balanced and well, and the government destroyed that. It crushed streams, worlds died, new ways of being came about, and it's kind of like it makes you be this knight, this kind of fight for justice. That totally makes sense in this era. Like, the Atlantis in us is screaming because we are being repressed. Governments are lying to us. Figures are being made up. We're being told we can't do this, but we can do that, and it's conflicting because why can we do that and not that, but then we can do it on these days, and then we can't do it on that days. Like, all of this stuff in an Atlantic past life person, someone who's lived that lifetime, it literally is enough to make your blood boil because it makes no sense. So this is something for you to set resolutions on, either to let go of that anger or to use it to fuel you. I feel like fuel you is the best way here. I feel like passion here with the taking action and you getting out of this thought and thinking in your headness. You're ready to take action and just kind of move forward. My guidance with that actually is the route that I am taking. I feel like whatever restrictions are put on us, whatever negativity that others have, that is nothing to do with us, and we can only work with what we've got. So if we can't legally do something, then okay, what can I do and how can I change this? If I can't go into a shop just to go browse to be able to help my mental health, why don't I go outdoors? I can go to a park, I can go look at pretty things, go out in nature. You can make the most of your life without having to comply to something you don't believe in. That is my guidance for today. So thank you guys. Thank you Sagittarius. Thank you Atlanteans. And please like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in February. I'm hoping that after the kids go back to school, which might not actually be till February 1, so the next ones might be rough as well. But once the kids are back in school, I can get doing these properly with a nicer setup. I'm hoping to get a mic. I'm hoping to get just things in order so we're not doing this at night time and like this, but it's a work in progress. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching and have a good day, Sagittarius.